Tao Te Ching, 67. Some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty, but impractical. But to those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense. And to those who put it into practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. I have just three things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These three are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. Tao Te Ching, 67. Encouragement along the way. Welcome back. If you have been following from the very get-go, if this is your first time listening, this is a video series on the Tao Te Ching chapters 1 through 81. We are on number 67 and we are doing all of them. Guys, this Tao Te Ching is really special. It's penetratingly special. I don't know if they're amplifying, as the further into the book that it gets, but this is such secret insight, wisdom into the art of living. And the Tao Te Ching it translates into English the Book of the Way. And some have even called it the Manual for the Art of Living, which honestly I like to incline my way of thinking towards that as well. Much wisdom in these words today. So let's get into them. Some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty, but impractical. But to those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense. And to those who put it into practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. What do you make of that? It reminds me of a couple of Taos earlier. It said, when the superior man hears of the Tao, he begins to implement it immediately. When an average man hears of the Tao, he half believes it, half doubts it. And when a foolish man hears about the Tao, he laughs out loud. If he didn't laugh, it wouldn't be the Tao. It makes me think about that. It's so deep, you guys. It is nonsense, kind of. I mean, it's paradoxical. One of the last Tao Te Chings says true words seem paradoxical. It says, but to those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense. And to those who put it in practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. That's the truth, y'all. The philosophy of the Tao Te Ching, the book of the way. It just, again, it helped me to become more like nature, which has really enhanced every bit of my life. It says to be like nature. In nature, nothing is rushed, and yet everything is accomplished. Be like nature. Continuing on. I have just three things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These three are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you can return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. This is really major. This is really good, y'all. This is really, really wisdom teaching. This is how to navigate life. This is how to flow through life. How to de-escalate negativity in your walk. How to maneuver in life, non-action, non-being. But let's go into each one of these. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Simplicity. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Yeah, because returning to the source is serenity. It's so much simpler, you guys, than all the burden that the culture tells us and promotes as the way to live. You've got to accumulate all these materialistic things to be happy, to live your bliss on earth. You've got to constantly be keeping up with the Joneses. You've got to have this newest thing. You've got to have that newest thing. I believe it's in the book of 1st or 2nd Timothy in the Bible, and it says, it's talking about money actually, but it says, godliness with contentment is great gain, is what it says. But this being simple, it says simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Yeah, that's because you've returned to your center. It's that simple, you guys. Return to the center and let all things take their natural course. He lets all things come and go effortlessly. His heart is as open as the sky. Returning to the source of being is returning to the center of grace within the center of your heart, which ideally is where Jesus lives inside of you. If you've ideally invited him to come live there and make a home there and abide with you there. Oh, to abide with the Lord in the center of grace, within the center of your heart, within the center of your being. To abide with him is enough, you guys. To simply be with him is enough. We don't need all these other things, y'all. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Run to your center and hold on to it, y'all. Continuing on. Patience. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Better to retreat a yard than to advance an inch. The ancient general masters thought 'twas better to wait and see. Trying to dominate events goes against the current of the Tao. When 2 great forces oppose each other, the victory will go to the one who knows how to yield. Knowing when and how to yield is strength, says the Tao Te Ching. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. It's being, not being, doing, not doing. It's Wei Wu Wei, the main theme of the Tao Te Ching. Embracing action, non-action. Wei Wu Wei. Being, not being. Doing, not doing. This is a place above thought. It's above and it's beyond your thoughts. It's above your mind. And the super consciousness is what some call it. But it's in the heavenly perfect consciousness. I mean, some people call it even Christ consciousness, and it's above everything else. It's just bliss. It's perfect harmony. It's perfect love. So, patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Because you understand, you guys. You understand what forgiveness is. Once you truly understand Jesus and have been illumined by the Holy Spirit of why he came and how major forgiveness is in his ministry, and how you're not going to really see anything until you grasp the forgiveness of Jesus, which ushers us to forgive everyone of everything, of every way anyone's ever failed us in any way possible. We understand how many times we have failed God, and God has forgiven us, so who are we to not forgive anyone? Anyway, continuing on, last but not least, compassionate. Compassion. Compassionate toward yourself. You reconcile all beings in the world. It's because the Master serves as an example. He doesn't lord himself over them. He doesn't try to make his will be done. How did freaking Tao Te Ching 66 says? It says the Master is above the people and no one feels oppressed. He goes ahead of the people and no one feels manipulated. The whole world is grateful to him. If you want to know even more about that point, go and check out the last Tao Te Ching 66. But again, compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. The Master serves as an example. And Jesus Christ is our ultimate example. He is the ultimate Master. He is the Master of Masters, the greatest Master, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. And Lao Tzu, if he was alive during Jesus' age, would have been a follower of Jesus, the author of the Tao Te Ching, because he would have recognized the universal harmony. He would have recognized the great Tao within Jesus Christ and the fullness of the power thereof that Jesus walked in. I'm totally convinced of that. And Lao Tzu was simply just one of the great pre-Christian sages in the ages before Jesus Christ walked the earth, before the New Testament came to be, and before the peace that transcends all human understanding, redemption, saving grace became ours fully, forever. Jesus is what it's all about, y'all, in case you haven't understood. If you're even curious at all about reading the Bible, the ultimate revelation is Jesus Christ. So, just a closer walk with thee. I pray that you have been blessed by this Tao Te Ching 67, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Love you all. Until then.